And that's how my Wii U exploded.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
BRB fam, I'll be right back.
Alright, see ya. I'll be here.
Mason, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nintendo News by me.
Yoshi games haven't really been my forte in the 2D platforming world. I mean, sure, the games are charming in their own way, but overall, I have a hard time calling any of these games in the franchise my favorite 2D platformer ever. But there was one game that was introduced to the world in January of 2013. Society called it Yarn Yoshi, and I think it was safe to say that I was beyond excited for it. The concept was nice.
Then the strangest thing happened. The game just disappeared for a year. Finally, at E3 2014, the game was revealed to the public again as Yoshi's Woolly World. Over time, though, Yarn Yoshi evolved into a more wool aesthetic.
A more wool aesthetic? Please, that's more of an understatement. Even after the year that they went silent about it, the game still never released until October of 2015. But even before the E3 trailers started rolling in, I will admit, even though I do love how the game looks, I would have liked to see more of the art style that they used for the screenshots in its Nintendo Direct unveiling in 2013.
Graphics aside, though, how does Yoshi's Woolly World stand up to the plethora of platformers on the Wii U? It's great, mate.
It's alright.
Wait, what? This game is really solid with tons of creativity and fun ideas. It's miles better than quote-unquote new Super Mario Bros. U.
And when did I say that it wasn't? I honestly agree with that. The whole series is bland, and the only game that invalidates that statement is Super Mario Maker. This thing just... I feel like they could have done a bit more.
Yeah, I can agree with that in a few parts, like the story. Kamek, being the main man that he is, turns all the Yoshis into wool.
And then he thanks them? Alright, let me just destroy your entire island and steal your friends. Thank you. Like, no, you don't just do that. There's no explanation for anything that goes on. With every Yoshi captured except for 2, they're in hot pursuit as they try to catch the bag with their friends inside. What could they possibly say in regards to Kamek's actions? They've gotta be furious. After that naughty trickster. Yeah, Yoshi, you tell him.
The gameplay of Yoshi's Woolly World is rather simple. You get to the end of each level. While most levels are easy, they all have a good amount of charm and creativity. The thing is though, Woolly World is not a great platformer unless you are the completionist type. In each stage, there are 3 things to do. Collect the flowers, stamp jewels, and wonder wools. Also, you need to beat the stage without getting any damage.
See, that's why I think this game kind of takes a wrong turn. I mean, don't think I'm bashing poor little Yoshi into a grave or anything, because the game isn't bad. You just have to be a completionist type to be able to do that. Am I that person? Nah, not at all. I'm the type to go from start to finish whether or not I want to actually collect things along the way. That's kind of where the game shines though, exploring. I'm not a good explorer though. I would like to be able to take advantage of everything the game has to offer.
That is the thing though, you need to consider that before purchasing the game. If you don't like collecting anything, then don't buy Woolly World, unless it's cheap. Woolly World though does shine through in other places. For instance, the music is outstanding. One might say it's OutstandingOshawott2.
Hey now, we'll save your channel advertisement for the end of the video. Oh, and speaking of advertisements, Nintendo hasn't really been bashful about showcasing amiibo in their games recently. Some have had pretty decent purposes for the figures like Smash Bros where you train your amiibo, while others, well, you get it. An amiibo hut for all of the Yoshi skins are also available, and you can even unlock more colors and other things like that for Yoshi by collecting all of the Wonder Wools in each level. And to be honest, that's how it should be. Nintendo did a nice job throwing this in. I mean, come on, we all knew it was coming. And the skins look adorable.
It would have been nice though if you could unlock all the amiibo skins via playing the game like in Super Mario Maker. Speaking of unlocking, some stages you can get a Yoshi transformation. These range from a motorcycle to a giant Godzilla-like Yoshi. These transformations are a fun break from the traditional gameplay of the series and spice things up.
While it does make things nice and different, I can't help but feel that the whole game kind of runs itself together. Don't get me wrong, the game has some fantastic levels. For example, there's World 2-3 where you guide a chain chomp through the entire level to help create a path to the finish line. Some levels are very inventive, but there aren't enough of them to keep me coming back.
I can agree with that up to an extent. Also, about things that are not the best, the boss fights. These are some of the least creative boss fights I've ever seen. While none are terrible, nothing seems creative. I would have loved a boss that takes advantage of the Yoshi transformations. If that was the case, I can only imagine what the team could have came up with.
Yeah, I understand that. They're just unmemorable. But overall, what is this game? While I would have liked it to stay the other art style that it was before E3 2014, I'm not going to judge it based on that. That game and this game are two very different things. Is it worth getting? I know I've sounded rather negative on this subject, but yeah, I don't mean to be harsh on it. It's just a 2D platformer that I didn't enjoy as much as I thought I would. But does that mean it's bad? Not at all. It breathes new life into the series, one yarn knit at a time.
Overall, Yoshi's Woolly World is a game that does suffer in a few parts. The boss fights are not great, the level design could be better at some parts, and it doesn't do much to separate itself from the other entries in the series. But what Woolly World does right is create a beautiful world with an amazing soundtrack and tons of collectibles. If you love collectathons, Woolly World will be right up your alley. It's woolly good.
It's so wonderful, and it makes me want to not play anything else at times because it's so adorable to look at. It's such an excellent game, and I appreciate it for that. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and totally check out Michael's channel because this is the end of the video where his channel advertisement is welcome.
Do it.
Link to that will be down below in the description. See you next time.